Hello, assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And I'm back very soon. I mean, that's how things go. When sometimes you can go for days on end without having anything to say, and then sometimes within the same day you have so many things coming up or coming to your mind and all. And since my podcast is all about naked thoughts, so anything and everything under the sun and the moon goes. And I was actually just thinking, once again, marveling at the toxic fan culture of Korea. Because to be very honest, come on, who hasn't been fans or who hasn't had fans? I mean, fans exist all over the world, and they're called fans for a reason because fans are actually fanatics. And we call them fanatics because they are extremists. They go through weird, insane lengths to, for the people that they worship, idolize, or adore. But throughout the world, you would see that those are usually at a minimum. Generally, when we talk about fans, they are not fanatics per se. So it's just that we tend to put them all in one category now because, for the lack of a better word. But originally, fans were fanatics, fanatic worshippers or idolizers of stars or famous people or celebrities or whatever. Now, as you know, my take on celebrities or famous people, you all know it by now because I've said it like a bazillion times now. My take is that I am interested in their performance. I'm interested in their job, their career, whatever it is that they're showcasing, and that is it. Apart from that, I am not interested in anything to do with them as people in their private lives. To be very honest, I've got better things to do in life. Even if I have not got better things to do in life, I still have got better things to do in life than to, stalk them. Or, I mean, to be very honest, if you ask me, I have never been a fan of anybody at all per se. I have loved numerous actors and actresses or singers or whatever, but yeah, no, not like this kind of fandom where you're just fangirling over somebody like that. No, what I love is their work. I enjoy their work. I enjoy what they're putting forward, and that is it. That is as far as I go. So yeah, I do find it a bit weird that people really, but I understand. I do understand. But I mean, if you look at it personally, yeah, not my cup of tea, as you know. So, but I mean, as I said, still fans exist all over the world. But I have never seen. I mean, in Pakistan also, as you know, the Pakistan TV industry is extremely powerful, always has been, and it's very popular all over the world. Our dramas are popular all over the world. And when it comes to India, it is Bollywood that is popular all over the world. And then you have the American Hollywood, and you've got their TV industry again. And then we've got the British, not the films so much as again the TV industry. So what I'm trying to say is that all over the world there are extremely famous actors and actresses that have fans all over the world, and but you would not see them interrupting or interfering their lives for their fans. You do not see their fans trying to force them to live a certain kind of life or to stay within that certain image bubble. And I've never seen any industry catering to those kind of fans either. So in the beginning, when I was sort of exposed to this culture, this K-pop fan culture and stuff of people, because I'm not into K-pop either, although I really love many of the Korean songs. But I'm generally not. I mean, I wouldn't say that I am a fan or that I am insanely in love with the K-pop. That I don't know anybody much. I haven't listened to BTS, but I know a bit about them. I know a bit about Blackpink. I know a bit about everybody, but if you ask me that if I've ever listened to them, I'm sorry, I've never listened to their songs. But I do appreciate the fact that they have worked really hard and reached where they are today. And I'm proud of them. So that is how I look at things generally. So as I said, When I was first exposed to this whole fan culture of Korea, I was like, no, 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 they're probably exaggerating it, right? They're just exaggerating it. They're talking about, those certain weird fans that everybody has. And then I realized after quite some time that no, this is not an exaggeration, but in fact, there is such a huge toxic fan culture in Korea where they force their artists the now this is where I think that the immaturity or the stupidity or the lack of professionalism comes from the agencies and the companies that work with the artists or represent the artists. I think that the it ultimately the immense stupidity and unprofessionalism catering to such fanatics, that comes from them, because your job is not to cater to the fans. I understand why you give the fans importance, and yeah, kudos to you. Keep on doing that, but isn't this overkill? I mean, you're going overboard here. This is overkill. That you're forcing your actors and actresses or singers or musicians to live live within this bubble that is created, a bubble of innocence, for example, or a bubble of singledom, as in that you're always single, or that you cannot have a life of your own because you are now mannequins that are to be worshipped, your idols that are to be worshipped. I thought that such kind of paganism was kind of outdated, but okay, if that suits you. But I think it's stupid. Okay, I think it's very stupid and it's very unprofessional and kind of unethical. Your job is to protect the artists, to better represent them and to get them to do good work so that ultimately they would get more and more fans. And fans here means that, more and more audience, more and more people who would love to see their work. And I think that the basics here is not forcing them to, cater to a certain image. But I mean, come on, they are actors. Their whole point here is to have various different images. They have to act as villains, they have to act as psychopaths, they have to act as innocent cute virgins, they have to act as this badass playboy, or I mean, there's so many roles, colorful roles that they have to. If you're going to restrict them on their image, then that means you're restricting them on their field work. That is the way I see it. And don't forget that I am also a writer and a producer. And I have, worked with artists in the industry. I'm telling you, nobody does it like the Korean industry. And I'm telling you that I'm calling you out on this, that I think enough is enough. I think you have, okay, fine. So there was a need, but I think now you've found your legs and you're quite stable as an industry. And I think you need to stop catering to this BS. It's very, very damaging to the artists. It's very damaging to the performers, because essentially they're called artists for a reason. They're creative people. We're all creative people. In Pakistan, even no matter how many businessmen have tried to, sort of pollute the industry, the media, but there is always this tussle, between the actual people of the media and those businessmen. And that is that the way our media does business is different from your regular business. This is not a regular business. We have different rules. We have different, a different way of doing things. We have different ways of doing business, and we cannot accommodate conventional business methods. But I think that is where Korea's industry is sort of going wrong. I think they are taking it as a conventional business. It's not. And I think that it's time now that you settle down and mature, and that you force your fans to mature, because I'm afraid that although none of us have this fan culture that Korea does, none of us has this toxic culture, not in Pakistan, not in India, not in America, nowhere. I mean, not like this. But I'm afraid that this culture, this toxicity, has spread towards Thailand, from what I can see, and I don't know if it's spread towards Japan or not. I'm not very sure on the the whole fandom status of Japan. But I see the toxicity spreading, that culture spreading in Thailand, and I think it's very, very dangerous. And I'm kind of worried that in the next generation, I might see it spreading here, towards this side. And maybe, although I doubt it would happen, but then you never know. With bad things, with toxic things, with negativities, they tend to spread more quickly than anything good. So, in fact, I'm beginning to get afraid of the culture spreading all the way to America, for crying out loud. But I'm hoping against hope that sanity still prevails and that people are still too busy to enter into this kind of toxic culture. And I think Korea really, really needs to address this toxicity. I think the media needs, the entertainment industry, it needs to address this very, very quickly, because as we can all see, the amount of damage done to the artists in Korea is huge. The suicide rates, the alleged suicide rates, because I really doubt many of their suicides, but okay, let's just accept that they're all suicides. And I think that the fact that they're giving so much importance to their so-called fans, to the toxicity of their fans, that they are forcing their celebrities to not have a life. I think that is utterly ridiculous. And as I said, I couldn't even believe it was real. I thought it was just an exaggeration. And if it's real, it really needs to be addressed, because by catering to this fan culture, you are essentially catering to insanity, and you are encouraging insanity. You are encouraging people to get away from reality, because that is exactly what is going on. These fans, they're blurring the lines between fantasy and reality. I mean, it's really very much like, those people who play video games, and VR games, all throughout the day and night, so much so that they're so addicted that the dangers that it poses among such people is that that they forget to differentiate. They can no longer differentiate between reality and the game world. And then they basically become psychopaths, even, or they just become insane, or they're so detached from reality that they can no longer function. And I feel that the Korean industry is actually encouraging that kind of behavior amongst its people, if it continues to, not address this issue, because this is a huge issue. It's like you are telling your people that they should just be submerged and immersed in a world of fantasy, never to get out. I mean, come on, we all have brains and we all have this common sense to differentiate a drama, with reality. Why the hell would I expect that somebody who's acting as a certain, I mean, it's like saying that, okay, Harry Potter is Harry Potter and he cannot be anything else. And so if the actor tries to act in another direction, or go towards something else, then he will not be accepted as that other character. And so he is Harry Potter, not just in the movies, but in real life. And there goes his life. You've just ruined his life, you've ruined his career, you've ruined everything that he's worked so hard to get there for. So yeah, I don't get it. I think it is actually insanity. And I think that such insanity should not be encouraged by mature, professional, career oriented adults working in an already very tedious industry. As we all know, all of us who have been in the industry, we know that the end product is the only thing that is glamorous here. People obviously do not know that, because people are looking at the end product, and that is the satisfaction that we get. Because, as one of my colleagues, she used to say that filmmaking or drama making, or basically this whole field of the media of creating content is labor work. We're all laborers, and we're no different from a laborer. And she's absolutely right, because even a laborer actually gets to, he has a more of a 9 to 5 job where they come early in the morning, they build, they construct whatever, and then by 5 o'clock they're all gone. You won't see them working through the night until unless of obviously it's urgent and they're working overtime, and obviously they get paid for it. But generally a laborer has a fixed timing, early morning to 5 p.m., and that's it. Whereas in the media, when we work, when we start producing, when we start shooting any content, we can go well through the night. Sometimes the shooting goes right into the night, because and everything is about budget. Everything, and it's we don't just rent a whole place for a month. When we rent a location, or even if we do not rent, but if somebody is generous enough to allow us to use that location for free, we still have to budget everything per day. Our budget is usually per day, per location. And so we try to get, that is actually one of the reasons why when we shoot all the scenes that we have available for that particular location, you know first. So when we are at a location, we check all the scenes throughout the script, and that is why the actual shooting process is disjointed. The finished product, the glamorous product that you see, that is after we rejoin all the disjointed parts. And that is why we have take one, take two, scene one, scene two. This is basically to help us reorganize and rejoin all the scenes in order, because we don't shoot them in order. So see, that's another fun fact in case you didn't know that. So we don't shoot in order, and later on we reorganize them and put them in order when we are in post production mode. That's when we edit all the stuff and we go for the finishings, the finishing touches and everything. And then you have your end product, and that is what you are so much in awe of. That's the finish. That is the only part of the media that is glamorous, the end product that is presented to the audience. But the making of that content, the whole process, is a very, very, very tedious process. It's a very disjointed process. It is a very organized and at the same time very unorganized process. And it is, day and night becomes one. There's no real sense of timing, especially when there are certain actors who will always come late on set, and you have to now make up for that time by again trying to see if you have other actors who can do their scenes in that location, because again, time is money. So punctuality becomes an issue. You know Time frame becomes an issue, number of days become an issue, locations become an issue, staff, crew, everything. And it's as I said, it is true labor work. So it's worse than labor work. It's labor work and then some. So yeah, the fans, I think it's okay to cater to fans to a certain extent, but I think that the Korean industry is overreaching and it's going overboard, and this is overkill. So I think that the Korean industry needs to you know sort of push itself a little back, have some perspective, and create boundaries. It's very essential to create boundaries to keep your fans also in real life and give them a reality check, and to give some breathing space to the artists as well. When I remember that when I was working, as I was when I was working in the industry for a while. I remember that when I and another writer. Now I am a writer and a producer, and he was a senior of mine, but a very very good friend. And he was extremely senior in that he could be my father. But we hit it off so well together that we usually kind of worked together whenever we were, trying to finalize scripts and, brainstorm and stuff. So we would, he would let me sit there and, brainstorm stuff with him on scripts. Although he really didn't need any because he was an excellent writer. He's a writer and an actor, and he's well known as a writer and an actor. And I remember that when we used to go out, because as I said, sometimes we would end up, we would end the shoot quite late, and then we would have to go into Liberty, where there are those late night snacks, and where we could find late night snacks. And when we would go there, or sometimes in between, shoots, when we would have some sort of a break and we would manage to go again to certain other marketplaces or bazaars where there's again some place where we could sit and eat in some open restaurant, you could say. Then I remember there would always be people coming and, tentatively asking him, because they knew his face, and but they just wanted to make sure that he was who they thought he was. And they would always come and ask him what his name was, and then they would ask for his autograph. Now that sounds familiar, isn't it? Because you see that kind of thing depicted, even in Korean dramas, when you see fans coming and they're not sure that they know you, but they know that they know you, that you're famous, and then they want your autograph anyway. So what I'm trying to say is that people are like that everywhere. But there's always a distance, there's a boundary. You will not see fans encroaching upon your personal space. They would always ask you first if they're not disturbing. First of all, in the first place, they actually do not come near a celebrity when they see a celebrity chilling somewhere near them with family or with friends. And if they do come, it's after great, like they spend like about an hour thinking about it before they approach the celebrity, and then they ask for their permission, and then yeah, the most an autograph and a picture, and saying I'm a big fan of yours, and that's it. So that is how basically it is with the fans in general. So I am really afraid. I'm really afraid that this toxic fan culture that has already spread towards Thailand, and it might or might not spread towards Japan. I'm not sure. I'm just afraid that the wave could hit here, and the new generation, which is already half unhinged, thanks to all the crisis and the problems going around the world, that maybe Pakistan will also suddenly find insane toxic fans. Although, as I said, I think that's good. Hopefully, that's not going to happen. First of all, as I said, there's already so much crisis going on that our people are focused right now on getting Imran Khan out of jail, and we're focused on how to get rid of the traitors. So I think our new generation is going to have other more important things to think about than fangirling or fanboying over some actor or actress and making their lives difficult. Yeah, I think so. At least the chances are slim for that to happen. But still, one does get worried. As writers, we tend to start thinking about the future, and unfortunately, when something hits us, and we start fearing something, it actually happens. Even if it's not supposed to happen, it just hits you and it happens. So yeah, I've suddenly got that fear that this culture should be nipped in the bud before it spreads. And I think that the Korean entertainment industry really needs to stop catering to this kind of fan culture, and they need to stop forcing their artists to cater to their fans to this extent. I'm sorry. That is highly ridiculous. Highly ridiculous. I'm sure that the entertainment industry in Korea has reached a point where it has stabilized itself. It has become powerful and stable enough to, not, you know, just be down on its knees and at the mercy of it of this, you know, of their fans. So I think, they have now reached a point where they can stop doing that. As I said, yes, minding your fans to an extent is very important. Yes, everybody does that, but don't don't do it to this extent where you are snuffing the life out of your artists or making their lives dangerous, dangerously hellish, and putting them in danger. Really, fans should be kept, to a certain boundary, and your actors and actresses and performers and singers, they should be able to lead their lives, without without that fear of suddenly being bombarded by stalkerish fans. Yeah, because this is a very, very toxic culture. I'm telling you, this is extremely toxic. And you cannot just let it go on. You need to nip it in the bud right now, although it's way past the budding stage. But still, before it spreads far and wide, it needs to be nipped in the bud. So that is it for now. And this is me signing out. And wherever you are, all just stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and Khuda Hafiz.